Helping us tonight to unravel what's going on in the power sector is Managing Director of CCS Technology, Arthur Osiagwu. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
What I was asking, if funding really is the problem of the power sector, you think otherwise?
Yeah, funding is part of it, but that is not the only problem we're having. Remember that when government sold NEPA, as it were, they had 40% equity, which means they are not really in control of the discos. Now, the power sector is standing on three legs. We have the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. Now, most of us look at it as if it's only a distribution problem. That's not true. The government has over 100% equity in Transmission Company of Nigeria, which was not privatized. Now, if you look at the dailies on the 11th of October, it was explicitly written there, the issue with TCN, which means TCN is still having losses up to 20% and interruptions up to 36%, which means TCN still remains the weakest link in the entire power sector. So, and government owns wholly TCN. So I would rather suggest that government should leverage on TCN, because even if we generate all the power that Nigeria as a country needs, we don't have the grid capacity to convey this power to the discos. And discos have always been complaining that they can only distribute what has been given to them. So these are the issues. So it's not just funding.
I imagine that you would say that, but you know, the House of Representative members are actually going with the issue of funding. They have already rejected a government's proposal to request a 309 billion naira bond to fund the power sector. If this is being rejected by the lawmakers, what other options do we have?
Now, the government has not told us these billions of naira they are talking about. Where exactly are they going to inject it in the power sector? Don't forget, the Gencos are having a lot of problem. Egbi was generating over 1,100 megawatts. Today, they are doing a little bit above 400, which means we still have a big problem with the Gencos. And when the Gencos were sold, we had the Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trader. As of today, we still have a debt up to 500 billion, amounting from what has been generated that has not been paid for. So these are issues. So this money government, this bond government is talking about, are they going to inject it in the discos or Gencos, or even the TCN that is comatose? We can't wheel more than 5,000 megawatts today.
But will additional funding help?
What the government needs to do is to put the enabling environment. For example, we have said it repeatedly that government does not have any business doing business. What they should do, they have up to 40% equity in discos. Why not sell them? Why not sell them and allow multinationals to buy into this? They can pull the fund together and exactly push things in a way that discos can be given enough liquidity to solve all the problems that discos are having, even if I believe the problem is not with the discos as it stands today.
Well, it sounds like we're in a deeper, a more tougher bind than we were at the beginning. Actually,
that's absolutely correct. That is correct. And how we are going to get out of this problem, government must change their approach. Sell the 40% equity they have in the discos, allow the discos raise more money to actually take care of all the dilapidated infrastructure they have on ground now. Then once they do that, discos can now pay some of the monies they owe the Gencos. Then they can also think of a way of putting their money in the Transmission Company of Nigeria, which they decided to hold because of security concerns.
Well, you're following this very closely. I'm hoping the government really does pay attention. Thank you so much, Arthur Osiagwu, Managing Director of CCS Technology.
Thank you so much, Amarachi, for having me.